In this video, I'm going to be explaining about array. So what is an array? An array is a variable that can store multiple values of the same data type. For a simple variable, like the one that we have learned before this, for example, you declare an integer x with an initial value 2, and if you run the program, the computer will create a memory location for x and initialize that location with the value 2. Okay, and you can see the example, the illustration from the right side here, where you will see that this is just the visualization of a random access memory. During the declaration of this variable, you will see that the computer will randomly select a location from this list of memory location, the one that is available, that is free, and it will allocate that location with that variable and name it as x. Okay, and depending on the data type, normally for integer it will use 4 bytes of this memory location. Okay, 4 bytes of the memory location. So it will assign, for simplicity, just that for any declaration of the variable, it's just going to use only a single cell of this Excel file from this Excel spreadsheet here. So it's going to assign 2. Okay, so that is a visualization of a single variable declaration. Now with an array, okay, if you declare an array, the way you declare an array is like this. Let's say you want to declare an array of integer, of type integer. So you can name that array to whatever you want. This is just the name it whatever you want, and you define the size of the array in a square bracket. How many space you want for this array. In this case, I just want to give an example, only 5 location. So once you do this, when you run the program, the computer will select a consecutive memory location, a 5 consecutive memory location that are free to be registered as that array. For example, let's say this particular location is free, and it will select 5 location and name it as ARR. Okay, and this is the first. So we are going to have 1 2 3 4 5 location, and every location is called element. Okay, every location is called element. So we are declaring 5 elements of the array. So this is the first element, second element, third element, fourth element, and fifth element. Okay, so that is the elements. So values in the array are stored in adjacent memory location. So, and the way you declare it, you must be using this bracket operator, square bracket operator. This is the size declarator, means how many elements that you want for this particular array. Okay, and also it will allocate 5 elements of the array. Int this. Okay, now we want to talk about the size of the array. So this is, when you declare it as this is what we call the size of the array. But the actual size of the array depends on the data type that you are using. In this case, for example, for this single variable, because it is an integer, an integer, then it's going to normally use 4 bytes of memory location. But this one, it is an integer variable as well, but it is an array with 5 elements. So the size of that array is the number of elements multiplied with the bytes that is allocated for each location. So for the case of this one, 4 multiply with 5, so you're going to have 20 bytes for this particular array declaration. Now, how do you want to know the size of every variable? Let's just use a size of operator. For example, if we want to know the size of x, so you can just simply use this function size of. And if you want to know the size of arr, then you can just simply call that function. And when you run this program, you will see that it's going to output first. This one is going to be 4, and the second one is going to be 20. Okay, so this is 4, this is 20. When specifying the size of the array during declaration, you can immediately use this integer literal. But you can also, instead of using this, you can specify it using a named constant. For example, you have a constant integer size equals to 5, and you use this constant variable name and replace it here. Now this has the advantage of ease of program maintenance. Okay, for this is going to make it easier for the program to be maintained when you need to change the size of the array, where you don't have to go through every lines of code to change the size of the array. You can just simply change the size at this particular location.